I have spent over the last 3 weeks listening and watching nothing but parody music videos. I haven't been the same since.
I'm not gonna be your prisoner anymore, Sia! Ah! Oh my god, Sia's really too bad.
One of the things to describe the era of 2010's YouTube is music parodies. There was a time where these types of videos were dominating the YouTube page. You could not go onto YouTube without seeing at least one of these videos on your page. And my god, was I absolutely obsessed with them. For a while, I would remember the lyrics to a parody rather than the original song they were making fun of. I, to this day, say the lines of Bart Baker's Born This Way more than the Lady Gaga version. I probably pissed off some fans just saying that. Throughout that time, this was when YouTube was not taking copyright as seriously as they do now. So for a while, a lot of people will just take a popular song and just do whatever the fuck they want with it. And so I wanted to take this time to reflect on this specific era of YouTube. I'm going to be talking about the very big YouTube parody channels that were huge at the time, along with YouTubers who didn't do parodies at first, but delve into the world of parodies. And also because, again, I spent nothing but 3 weeks listening and watching nothing but these types of videos, I have to share this with someone. Hey, look, a key! Now that's pretty awesome! I don't know how to do these transitions well, okay? The Key of Awesome is arguably one of the first channels people will think of when it comes to the parody era of YouTube. Originally barely political, their first upload to their YouTube channel is also their first viral hit called Crush on Obama. And you know, for a silly song about a girl having a crush on 2008 Obama, the song unironically is still catchy to this day. And man, did they love using this character almost immediately. The moment this video became a hit, it's like they had their hit character. Like Super Obama Girl?
She's sassy, Obama girl, she's flashy, Obama girl, she's wonky, Obama girl, so funky, Obama girl.
But eventually, one of the channel's stars, Mark Douglas, would end up creating a series for the channel called The Key of Awesome. Their first one was not really a music parody, but rather an original song skit called Heavy Metal Cats, which centers around watching cat videos online. This was back when one of the only things people would point out about YouTube is watching cat videos. In fact, they would actually do videos like that all throughout the series. One of my favorites is this one that they did on Glee, which is about an all Michael Jackson themed episode of Glee. And I love that he hates it so much he had to come back from the dead, make his own rendition of Thriller just to tell them that he hates their show so much, and then he ends up attacking the main characters. But their first existing song parody that they've done was a parody of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. And I don't really have much to say about this one, other than the fact that I do love this actress that they have to play Lady Gaga, and it's just featured in a lot of their parodies. Her name is Lauren Francesca, and I swear, I've seen this woman everywhere, and I just loved her. She was in a Bart Baker parody, she was in Epic Rap Battles of History for a moment, she played Lady Pasta in an Annoying Orange video, she was even in a Bo Burnham music video. Give this woman her flowers! They would eventually upload their biggest video to date, which is a parody of Kesha's TikTok, where Kesha is thrown into this intervention by her family where they're concerned for her well-being about her partying too much and drinking nothing but alcohol. But then it's revealed that none of this was really real and that she actually is just throwing on an act because that's what her manager tells her to do. I do gotta give The Key of Awesome quite a lot of praise. One, they managed to get some pretty good lookalike actors to play the artist that they're parodying that oftentimes I will sometimes mistake them for the actual artist. When I saw that We Can't Stop parody, I for a second thought that was actually Miley Cyrus. But they will also oftentimes hire singers that end up sounding and doing really spot-on impressions of the singers. Like their parody of Can't Remember to Forget You, the person that is singing as Shakira and Rihanna is done by one woman. That is awesome. Also, I love that whoever's idea was it to cast Todd as Pitbull deserved the biggest raise out there. My god, he fit the role as Pitbull so perfectly. Their One Direction parodies were also a personal favorite of mine. As a kid, I wasn't a fan of One Direction, and so I would love it when anyone would just poke fun of how popular they were. I can't help it, I was a big time Rush girl back in the day. And you know what, that's probably not a good thing to brag about today. But I also love that there's some continuity in between them. Like in their first One Direction parody of What Makes You Beautiful, at the end of it, they talk about who is going to go solo, like Justin Timberlake and NSYNC, and Zayn is so confident that he's gonna be the Justin guy. And so a couple years later, when Zayn eventually did go solo and released Pillow Talk, The Key of Awesome released their parody of Pillow Talk, and it ends with this.
I'm now the Justin guy.
to this day will always refer to Zayn as the Justin guy, even though that unfortunately is no longer the case anymore. I love this parody of Moves Like Jagger where Mark is just trying to capture Adam Levine's likeness for a Moves Like Jagger parody, but he just is unable to do it because of how out of shape he is. I especially love that when Todd steps in, he immediately starts to regret it, and then when he says he fucked his backup, the auto-tune when trying to censor him is so funny.
I just fucked my backup.
Around this time, the Key of Awesome were actually starting to pop off pretty well in popularity. They started collaborating with other YouTubers to be in their parodies. Mark himself got to be in an epic rap battles of history. They met President Obama. Eventually, Mark and Todd realized that a lot of people were tuning in solely for stuff within the Key of Awesome, and realizing that they've even hardly ever posted anything political, they ended up announcing that they were going to change the channel name from Barely Political to Barely Productions, which would eventually be named the Key of Awesome. Now, from the mid to late 2010s, they would continue to make parodies alongside other forms of content such as the Key of Unplugged, which is basically what happens if you make a Key of Awesome parody, just minus the music video. But in 2018, Mark would upload this video called The Last Key of Awesome, basically bidding farewell to the Key of Awesome, at least for now, as he says. Mark's reason is, although he does love and appreciate the fans who have loved these parodies for years, Mark himself was kind of not much of a fan of poking fun at artists' expenses when he himself doesn't have any personal grudges against them. And he wants to focus his time off of YouTube, off of social media, so he can focus on his own personal things, finding what he truly wants to do with his life, mostly surrounding comedy. And I will give credit, this video is such a very bittersweet thing to end your channel off of. Mark sings this nice song thanking his viewers, while we also say a goodbye to the cast and crew who's been involved with the Key of Awesome for so long. And since then, that was the last upload to the Key of Awesome, and it felt like we haven't seen or heard anything of Mark since then. Until one day in December of 2025, I saw this and it fucking scared the shit out of me. What the hell?
He's back.
That's right, after years and years of pretty much nothing, we finally got a return of the Key of Awesome, this one called Reggae Shark Saves Christmas. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Reggae Shark was basically a sketch music video created by Mark. This was Mark's original creation, and he was very proud of it. And it's this nice animated video that tells the story about a reggae shark that is also sung by Mark. And it blew up. The video not only has over 40 million views, it even got its own show on YouTube Red, which was cool at the time. And also, every sequel video did get millions of views. It was a fan favorite to many. And oh boy, was I so excited to see the Key of Awesome return, and with Reggae Shark saving Christmas. Oh boy, I can't wait to watch it, and oh god, no, burn it forever, no! Yeah, so that whole video was done by AI. What else do I need to say? Look, I don't want to talk too much about this. This actually has been discussed before by another YouTuber, so I'll link that in the description in case you are interested. But I will say, as somebody who is very against AI, it is so disappointing to see a YouTuber that you've loved watching for so long come back to YouTube after taking a break for years. And the video that they return to is AI garbage. But I also want to give Mark the benefit of the doubt. Mark has been offline for years, so I want to believe that maybe he wasn't that culturally aware of just how dangerous AI really is and how harmful it can be, and just how offensive it is to my eyes to watch. But as far as I know, that's pretty much the last we've ever heard of the Key of Awesome. I don't know what Mark is doing nowadays, but I do hope he's doing okay, and if he is doing a return to the Key of Awesome, oh, please let it be with real people who know how to pick up a pencil. And speaking of animation, that does drive the question, what if you make a whole music video parody, but it's animated?
Being your girlfriend, but much more tempted.
Can I just talk about the Key of Awesome again? Poptoons is an animated parody channel created by twin brothers Damien and Dion. Their first upload to YouTube, which was also their first parody, was a parody of Diamonds by Rihanna, which centers around Adele, who loves to eat food because she's fat. I'll talk about that in a second. One thing that immediately sets Poptoons apart from any other parody channel is that they're animated. And sometimes when they don't do music video parodies, they'll just make videos centered around whatever was huge in pop culture at the time. And my feelings towards Poptoons are a little mixed. Yeah, so a lot of their parodies, specifically early on, were very edgy. They would make a lot of jokes centering towards misogyny, racism, fat phobia. My god, did they love making fat jokes back then. Literally one of their most popular videos is a Dark Horse parody centered around Katy Perry being so fat because she loves to eat food. And also for some reason she turns into a fat Twilight Sparkle. Now I've noticed this when looking back at their parodies, and I don't know if this was meant to be intentional or not, but when you listen to their parodies, oftentimes the singing is kinda pretty bad.
I'm living the thug life and I smoke a lot of weed.
Booty rock. I wanna see your booty drop.
Is that Taylor Swift? What they say? Booty face? But have you seen Little Kim's new face?
I think one of the only ones that actually sounds pretty good is their Break Free parody, but that's not saying much, it's only a few seconds long! I will say, I do love that some of their music video parodies are not song parodies, but rather just them telling a story centered around the music video that they're parodying, if you know what I mean. For example, they did a parody off of Taylor Swift's Bad Blood, but instead of it being a song parody like anyone else would normally do, it became this 9-minute long movie centering around the music video, all about Taylor Swift's beef with Katy Perry. And it's like voice acted and everything. I will say, I think that's impressive. I did like their parody of Me by Taylor Swift featuring Brendan Urie. One, I love how the music is not at all remotely close to what the actual song sounds like. But also, I will give credit, I like the guy that they got to sing as Brendan Urie. I know I made fun of the singing earlier, but this guy who sings as Brendan did a pretty dead-on impression of him.
Hey guys, I'm Brendan from that band Starts With Panic. Ruled the early 2000s with our one song called Harassing. This is my first video on Instagram.
They would also make these videos centered around celebrities as DC characters, and they fight in the style of Mortal Kombat or Injustice given the theme. And some of these would be based off of actual beefs that were happening at the time, like Justin Bieber versus Selena Gomez or Miley Cyrus versus Nicki Minaj. But sometimes they'll just have a matchup of two celebrities that either match each other really well or is just a pair that people would love to see in this type of video, like Billie Eilish versus Melanie Martinez. They'd also have this series called Hollywood Diss Match where they would kind of battle each other a la epic rap battles of history, but they just kind of do a parody of each of their songs. But my god, the worst one has got to be Melanie Martinez versus Oliver Tree. I know I said this before, but the singing, it has to be intentionally bad, right? It has to be, right?
I'm doing great since you broke up Melanie. Yeah, you are my worst ex.
Acting like a spoiled brat is unchecked a drain.
Neither of their singing matches to the beat of the music. What the fuck is happening? PopToons has actually been going on for a very long time. They were still making these parody videos, a bunch of animated shorts, but they did recently stop making these videos back in 2024, and for tragic reasons. In 2024, Dion announced in a community post that Damien sadly passed away due to a brain tumor back in July. And in that same post, Dion did say that he wasn't comfortable continuing with PopToons anymore since Damien was the one who animated a lot of these videos. And as much as I did make fun of their early parodies, I will give them a lot of props. It is amazing how one person animated a lot of these videos, and it's truly incredible how long they've continued to do these types of videos up until Damien's death. So I completely understand Dion if he just never wants to make another PopToons video ever again. As much as PopToons may not have been my personal cup of tea, there is no denying a lot of people really did enjoy these videos and really did become a huge part of people's childhoods. And as for Dion, I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he is doing well. Okay, that got sad for a bit, so I gotta find something to shift the mood up a little bit. So, Minecraft parodies.
What does the squid say?
Now, I'd be very remiss if I talked about the parody era of YouTube without mentioning the Minecraft parodies because, oh my god, there were so many of them. I am not exaggerating. You can search up any popular song that was big in the 2010s and put Minecraft parody next to it. Guarantee you'll find one easily.
I need a sword, 'cause all I do is craft. 'Cause all I do is
Minecraft videos were my favorite thing to watch as a kid. Some were great, some were what the fuck.
No, you won't, pighead. Leave him alone.
Now I'll show you.
Captain Sparkles is easily one of the first ones you think of when it came to Minecraft song parodies. I mean, who could forget? It's the guy that made Revenge Creeper. Aw, man. I love how since Minecraft got a bit of a resurgence a couple years back, this song also ended up becoming pretty big. I mean, this music video has more views than the original song. That is fucking impressive. At the height of the song's popularity, Captain Sparkles, for an April Fool's prank, decided to make Revenge 2, which is basically a recreation of the music video, only with a whole high-quality animation style with a team of animators, which, holy shit, it's so beautiful. But also, they just swapped the vocals, so Captain Sparkles is the one who's singing, and Tryhard Ninja is doing the rapping, which is, you know, what can I tell you? That's fucking beautiful.
Dig up diamonds and craft those diamonds and make some armor. Get it, baby, going forge that like you so. MLG Pro, the sword's made of diamonds, so come at me, bro.
The next day he uploaded it with the original audio, but it's just not the same. I'm just gonna love the one he posted before. It's just funnier and honestly way better. Now, Fallen Kingdom, on the other hand, that is probably Captain Sparkles' magnum opus. The animation is beautiful, Tryhard Ninja's singing is incredible, and the story is pretty depressing, and it weirdly matches the song perfectly. For anyone that doesn't know, the song that they're parodying is Viva La Vida by Coldplay, which, if you don't know, basically tells the story of this king who lost all his power and is watching his kingdom crumble beneath him as he reflects on his past glory, all while facing the fact that he is eventually going to die. And it kinda is represented pretty well with this Minecraft parody. I mean, this man lost his power, doesn't know what to do, is separated from his family, and the best he could do is just take his own life. That's fucking depressing, Sparkles! What the fuck?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 saddest movie deaths.
Another one of my favorite parodies was Don't Mine at Night. And yeah, for good reason. It's animated well and it's really catchy. But something I do want to mention is that for some reason this song may have ended up being popular within the brony community. Yeah, so there was a Don't Mine at Night pony parody done by YouTuber Jan Animation, which I will give credit. Yes, it's animated beautifully and I did kind of like it a bit. But I just find it interesting that this person made a My Little Pony parody song based off of a Minecraft song that was a parody of a Katy Perry song. It was a parody within a parody. There were also quite a lot of Minecraft parodies that centered around creepers. I wondered which one was the popular mob at the time. Obviously there's Revenge, but there was also a creeper song that was a parody of Michael Jackson's Thriller. One that was a Wrecking Ball parody done by Caveman Films, which I weirdly loved when I was little, solely because of the fact that I just love it when a grown man is unironically screaming frickin'. Also not really a Minecraft parody of an existing song, but I would be very remiss if I didn't mention this creeper rap by Dan Bull. Something about creepers being given these pointy teeth just makes them weirdly more terrifying. Yuxcast was also responsible for some of my favorite parodies ever. I mean, How Do I Craft This Again is still catchy to this day, but personally, I did love Screw the Nether a little bit more. And that is solely due to Honeydew's solo. I mean, my god, this man did not have to kill it. Sky Does Minecraft also did a Minecraft song parody of Coldplay's Paradise called New World, and I'd rather talk about this one parody of Call Me Maybe called Join Me Stevie. It's performed by the same woman that did that Make a Cake Wide Awake parody. When I was young, I used to always call this character Stevie, even though his name was Steve, and a lot of people were judging me because I don't know Minecraft lore because of that. And I was trying to wonder why exactly I kept calling him Stevie, and now I remembered. It was this parody. This parody was the reason I called him Stevie for a few years.
Hey Ian, I saved my PB&J sandwich for you.
Shut up, Stevie.
Now, these next few channels I'll be talking about weren't necessarily parody channels like The Key of Awesome or PopToons, but rather YouTubers who delve into the world of parodies or made parodies of their own because that's how big parody was at the time. I am only going to be talking about YouTubers that I remembered watching at the time and watching their parodies, so apologies that I did not mention whatever this one is.
I make funny face when I go through, then I wipe it.
On second thought, I take back my apology. I feel better now. Wasabi Productions is one of the first examples that I think of.
This is not over!
Yes, it is.
Will you ever forgive me?
No.
Wasabi Productions is a YouTube channel created by two best friends, Alex and Roy. A lot of their early videos consisted of a bunch of silly sketches that they would do. Sometimes they would even follow among early trends like the songs in real life era that was pretty big around the time. And they were doing some parodies as well. I remember they did one of Rebecca Black's Friday called Swag on. Gee, I wonder what year this came out.
Gotta get my tweet on, we swaggin' it all day. Here we go.
But their biggest parody, which is honestly the one that put their channel on the map for a while, was their Call Me Maybe parody, which to this day is still their most viewed video on the channel. And that is because of the fact that that video would introduce fans to two particular characters that would stick around the channel for quite a long time, Rolanda and Richard. Rolanda is obsessed with Alex, she is in love with him, however Alex is not interested in Rolanda, but Rolanda is refusing to take no for an answer, and so she ends up stalking him, breaking into his house. I think at one point Rolanda did get over Alex and fell in love with his older brother instead, but that did not last long. And Richard, I don't know, he's just knocking on Alex's door by the end of the Call Me Maybe parody, and he sees Rolanda immediately as like, yes, her. She's the one who's going to fall in love with me. I can treat her so much better. She wants me. That is his catchphrase, by the way. She wants me.
She wants me. She wants me. She wants me. She wants me. She wants me.
She wants me. Yeah, I know.
But no surprise, Rolanda is repulsed by Richard and says that he is gross. So now we have this whole like love triangle thing going on between these three, and poor Alex is just roped in on this because Rolanda is just obsessed with him. I'd say one of my favorites was the I Knew You Were Trouble parody, and that's solely because of the screaming and how repulsed Rolanda genuinely sounds when she sees Richard.
Ew! Oh my gosh! Monster! Monster! Monster!
But also, I don't blame her. He's like, what is he doing? He's trying to grab her. Why is he trying to grab her? I always love it when some of their parodies regarding Rolanda and Richard will sometimes find a way to include some type of drama. Like in their parody of 22 by Taylor Swift, Alex finally found a way to get Rolanda to leave him alone and she won't bother him anymore. But for some reason, he starts to miss her and wants things to go back the way they were, with her stalking him and being completely obsessed with him again. Buddy, you have Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know what else to tell you. I swear to God, Alex has this weird thing he has with Rolanda because on one hand, he's disgusted by her and wants no interest in her. But then eventually, when she finally leaves him alone, he wants her to be obsessed with him again. But then eventually, when Richard ends up getting a date with Rolanda, he gets jealous and wants Rolanda to be interested in him. And then in their Blurred Lines parody, when Rolanda has to choose between Richard and Alex, she chooses Alex, and then he immediately regrets his decisions and now wants her to leave him alone again. Buddy, what do you want? You keep feeding into her delusions about you, and yet you just choose to be a dick about it when she is into you again. Buddy, make up your mind. I could talk all day about Wasabi Productions, I really do, but I'm probably gonna save everything else for maybe a possible future video I have about them because I'm going to choose to leave it at that. But their parodies truly were entertaining for me as a kid, and looking back, I still love them to this day, and I will probably still see myself watching one of their parodies every once in a while. And by one of their parodies, I mean their I Knew You Were Trouble. I'm sorry, Rolanda's screaming is still fucking getting to me. Next up is Dave Days, who was well known for his music videos, some of which were songs about other YouTubers like Dax Flame. Dave Days had also jumped into the world of parodies. One of my favorites is his one of Justin Bieber's Baby, which I solely love for the reason that Tay Zonde was given a solo.
My voice is changing up, but I'm still getting ladies' home phone numbers so I can call their mom to talk to my mom to see if we can hang out after school for a few hours when your mom's home from work.
Whoa, Tay.
But Dave really became popular regarding a series of videos that he had all centered around his obsession with Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana, all of which has him being in love and like cuddling with a cardboard cutout of Hannah Montana. And so he would end up making parodies of Miley Cyrus songs all centered around his love for this cardboard cutout. But also, sometimes I guess the cardboard cutout is a sentient being, because I think in one parody, the cardboard cutout does end up talking, and even the cardboard cutout is not interested in Dave. I gotta give him a lot of props. He does a lot of these videos in public and people just look at him as he falls in love with this cardboard cutout. And you know, as someone with severe social anxiety, I would fucking never, so I give him props for that. These videos would end up catching the attention of Miley Cyrus herself, and she would get to appear in a couple of Dave's videos. I do love how he somewhat continued to do the whole Hannah Montana cardboard cutout shtick, even during the time when Miley herself was done being Hannah Montana. His last one would end up being around 2018, which is a parody of Lil Dicky's Freaky Friday. Dave would continue to make cover videos and even make some of his own original music, but then he stopped uploading in 2021. So it seems understandable. Maybe he's taking a break off YouTube. I mean, he has been doing it for a very long time. I mean, I don't blame him if he doesn't ever come back to YouTube. I mean, I guess it's fair. And what the fuck is this?
Ew! Oh my god!
Okay, so Dave did come back to YouTube about 3 months ago to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana. And so to celebrate that, he made this video where he's like with the cardboard cutout of Hannah Montana, and it's like them looking at footage of them being in love and everything. But most of the video is filled of AI generated videos of him and Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus as Hannah Montana doing romantic stuff together. Why couldn't you have just used the cardboard cutout? That was at least funny and real. Or better yet, instead of you and the cardboard cutout watching AI slop of you guys together, just have it be you guys reminiscing old video clips of you and the cardboard cutout. What the fuck is this? This is now the second YouTuber I've talked about in this video where I used to watch their parodies as a kid. They decided to take a break off YouTube for a couple of years, and the first video they make when they come back is AI fucking garbage. Now, I really don't have much to talk about when it comes to Robert IDK or Robert I don't know, other than the fact that the sole reason I wanted to mention him is because of his Jacksepticeye Pillow Talk parody, because of that one joke.
Watching Jackal Day, Jackal Day, Jackal Day.
It's so stupid, but I love it. He did do a couple more parody songs, not a lot, but enough for them to stay in my mind forever. I mean, if you're going to parody 21 Pilots' Ride set to Markiplier, it's going to become one of my favorite videos in the world.
It was about 2 years ago that I became a Markiplier.
Oh my god, I just remembered. He also did one about being a fan of Dan and Phil, and it's another 21 Pilots song parody. Oh, 2016 YouTube, I both love and hate you at the same time. Now, I know nowadays people are obsessed with AI generated slop like the Fruit Love Island stuff that was happening. And listen, I also grew up watching Talking Fruit videos, but here's the difference. At least my brain rot was made by real people! I feel like I don't really need to give an introduction to the Annoying Orange. If you literally grew up throughout the early 2000s of YouTube, you know about the Annoying Orange. I don't really want to introduce you to the Annoying Orange. If you don't know, good for you. The reason I mention the Annoying Orange here is because the Annoying Orange has also delved into making parody songs, and I still remember every single word to them. There could have been so much more useful information that could have been in my mind, but no, I choose to know the words to Orange Nyanya style instead. Watching these back, I did get hit pretty hard with nostalgia here. I remembered I downloaded the Kitchen Intruder parody of the fucking Bed Intruder song. It was a free download, and I would sing the fuck out of this one every time. I'd say one of my personal favorites is either Beauty and the Beat because it starts off as a very nice love ballad to a beat. But then once a beat gets run over by a car, it now turns into about beats getting run over by cars. And my other favorite is the What Does the Fox Say parody centering around what a sock says.
Ooby, ooby, ooby feet. Ooby, ooby, ooby feet.
Like I said, this channel was my original brain rot, but at least my brain rot was made by real people. I could talk more about the Annoying Orange, but I think it's safe for me to just stop now before I dive back into that rabbit hole I fell in years and years ago. But I will say, as much as the Annoying Orange gave me so much brain rot as a kid, I would gladly choose to watch nothing but the Annoying Orange for the rest of my life if it means I don't have to talk about a single one of Shane Dawson's parodies. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about any of them because I value my sanity and I value yours. But when it comes to someone like VenetianPrincess, oh, I will be here for hours. Oh, I can talk about VenetianPrincess. I fucking love her.
I used to date ya, but we had a fling.
VenetianPrincess will always be one of the first YouTubers I will think of when it came to the parody era of YouTube. The kids today will never understand just what an icon she truly was to me, and possibly to many other people. She was at one point the most subscribed female YouTuber on the platform before Jenna Marbles overtook her. To me, she will always be the original it girl of YouTube. I was introduced to her videos randomly in 2011 when one of her videos was a parody of Taylor Swift's You Belong With Me called Just a Zombie. That, and mostly because the video's thumbnail used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. Don't judge me, I was 7 years old! Jodie Amy Rivera started her YouTube channel in 2006 under the name VenetianPrincess. VenetianPrincess was the name of her alter ego, and the reason she went by that is because she had a love for both Princess Diana and the city of Venice since she was born in Venice, Italy. A lot of her early videos seem to consist of her goofing off, having a lot of fun, creating a bunch of full fantasy-like adventures. One of my favorites at the time was her making this skit about having a fear of flying, since at the time she was going to have to fly to LA for a comedy show, so she made this skit as a way to cope her fear of having to get into a plane and fly. And, you know, as someone who also has a fear of flying, I felt that.
Stewardesses. They always seem so calm. Well, I guess it is their job. I'd imagine it would be written in their contract to maintain composure during all circumstances.
And then she made Hillary Be My Best Friend, which you could argue is one of her first parody songs that she made on her channel. And it's just a song ballad that she had written about wanting to be Hillary Clinton's best friend and wanted to be there for her because she felt horrible for Hillary Clinton because of the horrible press she's been getting at the time. Keep in mind, this was made in 2008. This was well before the Hillary versus Trump thing. I don't know what press or anything Hillary Clinton was going through in 2008, but I'm just saying, this video was ahead of the time.
You can even use my bronzer, cause you know you need a tan.
But the first music artist parody she did was also her claim to fame, which was a spoof of Miley Cyrus's 7 Things called 7 Things Guys Don't Have to Do. And yeah, I watched it again recently, and frankly, I still think it holds up quite well. I'd say the reason VenetianPrincess would arguably be, if not my favorite parody artist on YouTube, is that, like Weird Al, she wouldn't make fun of the artists and poke fun at their expenses or anything regarding these parodies, but rather she'll just take the song and turn it into something silly, or just have nothing to do with the song and turn it into something else instead. Literally one of my favorite parodies ever is this parody of Low, which centers around the infamous Octomom story. It was a huge story at the time, okay? You'd have to understand. Another one of my favorites was her parody of Womanizer by Britney Spears. In it, it's just about hot women falling in love with nerds. What else do I need to tell you? This is comedy for me.
Together we'll discuss HTML and C++.
I gotta give Jodie so much credit. She is so talented in everything that she does. Not only does she write her parodies, does she edit the videos herself, but my god, can this woman sing. Even when she's being silly and goofy, she is so fucking good at singing. It's unreal. Jodie would also collaborate with a bunch of YouTubers who were either big at the time or weren't big yet, but were going to be in the future. Some examples are Ryan Higa, Mystery Guitar Man, Dave Days, and oh my god. In September of 2013, Jodie would upload her final parody to her channel, which is a parody of Katy Perry's Roar, being about Thor. And listen, I love Jodie, I really do, I love her channel so much, but really, I think the reason she chose Thor out of any character is because that was the name that rhymed with roar, because really, real ones would have picked Loki instead. But you know, I'll excuse it solely because I don't know, I weirdly love the line, "The masterpiece of his tushy makes the Hulk look like a wussy." Jodie would still upload to her channel for a couple of years, but would on occasion take a few breaks here and there, and for very good reason. In a video, she explains the reason she's been taking some breaks is solely so she can focus on taking care of her mom, who was unfortunately diagnosed with COPD. If you don't know, COPD is a disease in the lung that makes it pretty hard to breathe. And tragically, her mom did pass away in 2014 because of the illness. But there is a bit of happiness to her story. In a video made in 2015, she announced that just a month after losing her mom, her doctors, after being told for years that she was unable to conceive children, Jodie found out out that she was pregnant with her daughter Ariana, who was later born in late 2014. And since then, she would slowly stop uploading videos. On occasion, she would re-upload a parody here and there, but other than that, she would just slowly stop uploading to her channel altogether. Her latest upload was in 2025. In it, she reflects a lot about what's been going on with her life. Her father sadly passed away due to COVID, and she also tragically lost her brother as well. She's also talked about the amount of weight she's both lost and gained going back and forth. She has gone through an eating disorder in high school only to gain a lot of weight after losing her mom, but then when she was going through postpartum, she started losing a lot of weight and then started gaining that weight back after losing her dad. I mentioned that because in the video she reveals that she is about to go through bariatric surgery, and she ends the video talking about how much she has missed her subscribers and how insane it is that people are to this day remembering her videos and are so nostalgic towards her.
I just wanted to say that I miss you. I get a lot of people that say, oh, you were my childhood and your videos are so nostalgic to me, and that I really cry. That means the world to me.
And yeah, that video made me emotional. This was someone I used to watch a lot as a kid, and just seeing this, knowing what she's been going through, it did make me want to cry. Her parody videos will always be some of my favorite videos ever to watch on YouTube. I still to this day watch her Lady Gaga, Britney Spears parodies. They're just so entertaining for me to this day. All I gotta say about Venetian Princess is I hope she's doing well. I hope she's living a great life raising her daughter. And to anyone watching, I highly suggest you watch her parodies. They are so funny, they're entertaining, and they still hold up quite well to this day. Truly, Venetian Princess will always be one of my favorite YouTubers that I will always fondly remember. She is truly quite a YouTuber that I will hold dear to my heart to this day. I can't say the same about Bart Baker.
Oh my god, see, it's really too bad.
I've talked about Bart Baker a couple of times on this channel solely for the reason that this man plagued my childhood for so long, and no matter how hard I want to forget this man's parodies, they still keep coming back to me. He just never goes away. No matter how much I want to forget him, he somehow keeps coming back to me, whether if it's regarding China or his fucking crypto shit or his parodies. It just doesn't go away. He doesn't stop. I can't sleep. I haven't slept in fucking days. Someone make it stop. Get this man out of my mind. I want him out of my mind. Please make it stop. Someone out there, please make it stop. Bart Baker started his YouTube channel in 2006 after being inspired by The Lonely Island. He wanted to pursue musical comedy, and so he took his opportunity by uploading his videos onto YouTube. He originally started uploading either comedy songs or music productions until 2009, where he uploaded his first music spoof of the Black Eyed Peas song Boom Boom Pow entitled Big Old Pubes. Wonder what the joke is here. I could talk about Bart Baker's early parodies all day. I really could. Yes, a lot of them did not age well. Actually, scratch that. All of them did not age well. I do know a lot of his early parodies did consist of old men in drag, or sometimes Bart himself will be in drag, which is something that he'll actually continue on throughout his future parodies. I know Bart has gone into a lot of backlash and controversies regarding some of his parodies, but I'm not gonna get into that stuff because we'd be here all day. But my god, some of the backlash that he got regarding making fun of gay people, the homeless, fat people, straight up making fun of children, like his Rebecca Black parody. Apparently Rebecca Black hates Bart because of this parody.
Apparently Rebecca Black doesn't like me at all because I did a parody of Friday and I was mean.
Yeah, I wonder why she hates it. But I do want to take a second to talk about his blackface videos. You can't find them on his YouTube page anymore. I think he's deleted them, but you can still find these on YouTube. His worst one, in my opinion, has gotta be his Kanye West and his Bound 2 parody. And even for 2013, that was fucking crazy to do. So many people saw this man. There was a makeup team. There was a crew. A lot of people saw this man, looked at him, and said nothing. They gave him the approval. Again, he could have easily have hired a black man. He's hired black people before, but no, Bart just can't help himself but be the main star in his parody channel. I do want to mention there are some of Bart's parodies that I did end up enjoying and that I still like to this day. If I were to say I have a favorite one, my favorite has to be his Blurred Lines parody. Not only is it because this is a song that deserves to be made fun of, but this was being made fun of right at the height of people criticizing its lyrics and its weird, creepy tone that it had towards it. And the fact that this was all before the allegations towards Robin Thicke were coming out, this parody was both at the perfect time, but also ahead of the time. I mean, even the Just Dance map feels more respectful to women than anything in that music video. Also, I just love Kingsley S. Pharrell.
Everyone free!
Who the hell is this one? What the hell did I do?
Thank you are dead!
Who the fuck is this dude?
It actually is insane just how big Bart ended up being. There were a lot of people he was collaborating with, both huge YouTubers, Vine stars, and also some well-known celebrities at the time. Like, the list can go on. There's Jax Films, Markiplier, Stan Lee, Dave Days, Joan Rivers, Steve-O, Shane Dawson, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Ron Jeremy. As a kid, I had no idea who the hell this man was when I saw this parody, but then I looked him up recently for this video, and I was such a happier person not knowing who he was. Jesus Christ. One of the artists that Bart loved to parody was Taylor Swift. And the thing you'll notice within Bart's parodies is that whenever he parodies an artist, he'll have one joke and he'll just go with that joke all throughout the whole parody, or he'll make that joke multiple times regardless of the artist he is parodying. Some examples being that One Direction are all gay for each other, Miley Cyrus and Ariana Grande used to be on children's shows and now they're doing dirty stuff. And the one joke that he has towards Taylor Swift is that she is really bad at relationships, that she can't keep a boyfriend, and that she's the devil. Literally, she is Satan in Bart Baker's parody world. Now, I am not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. I don't really listen to her music, and this is not me trying to sound cool or anything. Her music's just not for me. I only like one Taylor Swift song, and yes, it's the one with Brendan Urie in it, the one that everyone says is her worst song, so I have great taste. And to be fair, yes, I have seen worse Taylor Swift parodies, but the ones that Bart made felt so personal in a way that they're almost fascinating to me. There was even a video Bart made about having Taylor Swift react to one of his parodies of her, but it's not Taylor Swift. It's an actress that somewhat looks like her, and then she just gets angry, whines about it like a baby, and just storms off like she's offended by this.
People just always just put me down and just... You're being a victim. No, I'm not playing the victim, okay? What have I ever done to you?
I just want to know what this man's issue he had with her. Outside of parodies, Bart would also begin to experiment what he also wanted to do with his channel, some of which were animated trailers made by L. Hugany, aka the Story of Undertale guy. Bart also had a bit of a rap alter ego towards him that didn't last very long called Little Clorox. And honestly, I was kind of on board with that idea. Not only did I think it matched his style of comedy, but also he was so committed to the whole bit that the tattoos he got were real. And so you think this would be somewhat of a career high for him? But no, he just abandoned it shortly after 3 music videos and he was done. In 2017, Bart was among some of the many channels that were affected by the adpocalypse. It didn't help that Bart had left Maker Studios and has began making his parodies independent now, and so given how he pretty much is responsible for paying his camera crew and the actors that he is working with to make these parodies work, this was going to be a huge struggle for him. He would also go on to explain his frustration on how YouTube had shadow banned him and is not showing his subscribers that he has uploaded new content.
My subscribers are not seeing my uploads. I'm getting tweets from people asking where I've been, why I've stopped uploading. I haven't. I have not stopped uploading. You're just for some reason not seeing them. Whether Google intended it or not, it sure seems like they're picking favorites and hiding videos from creators they don't like right now. Just ask Dame Drops, How To Basic. Honestly, the list goes on and on.
Which tends to explain his lack in viewerships. I mean, don't get me wrong, the views that he was getting are still pretty good, but compared to what he used to make back then is such a drastic change. But that is not the sole reason why views were declining for this man. It was also because parody was dying off of YouTube at the time. For a while, shorter videos were no longer doing it for YouTube anymore. But unlike channels like The Key of Awesome who got out when they could, Bart did not want to give up. He still was so persistent of wanting to continue making these parodies, continue on with his channel, because yeah, that's what he was doing for a living. Bart would end up continuing uploading videos to his channel up until 2018, where he would release his final parody onto his channel. Bart was also slowly inactive on his social media, so it seemed like everything was radio silence towards him, and it felt like we were never going to see him again. Until this happened.
She can sing. Check this style out. I cried just to understand. I want to ask. The sky was love's purpose. I suffer through hardships. Like a poem for no sickness. I am obsessed as one could ever be. I'm so in love with you. My passion runs endlessly. Leave a comment whose thought you like better, mine or hers.
Yeah, so Bart Baker went from being the king of YouTube parodies to the YouTuber who sold his soul to China. I'm not gonna talk about this for too long because really, what can I say about all of this that hasn't been said so many times? I mean, we've seen the Vice documentary at some point. Man looks so miserable. But no, Bart's been open a couple of times how he actually loves it there in China. In fact, he even moved there in Shanghai a couple years ago. But then in 2021, he finally released another video titled What the Fuck Happened to Me, where he did explain where he's been, why exactly he moved all the way to China, and why he moved back home. His reasoning being that he just misses his friends and family, but he'll always have a love for China, so he just ended up taking a break from that stuff. But he did also mention that he was planning to make a return to parodies. I remember he left a comment in a video talking about him that he was planning to release at least 2 parodies a year, but in the video he did explain that he plans to make a return to parodies with the help of his new current obsession, crypto.
Another thing that I'm obsessed with and that's been taking up almost all my time is crypto. I'm obsessed with crypto. It's really bad, but it's amazing.
His latest upload, which realistically is probably his final upload to YouTube, is a music video that he did called Polydoge. And I am not exaggerating when I tell you this is one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. Jesus Christ. And that pretty much was the last I've heard from Bart Baker. I have heard from people that he is still very active on Twitter, where he has quote unquote stopped aging at 25. This man is now 40. And apparently he's just very active on Twitter promoting that same cryptocurrency that he's been promoting. And considering the fact that I am refusing to get Twitter, even for the most basic things like this, I'm just gonna take people's word for it. Looking back, yes, Bart Baker may not have been my favorite parody channel. A lot of his parodies, specifically his earlier parodies, were very edgy and mean-spirited. In fact, a lot of his parodies are very mean-spirited. But I can't help but somewhat feel bad for him. This was a YouTuber that was on top of the world. He was dominating the YouTube parody scene, only for it to be taken away when YouTube fucks you over. But also, he did choose to go into that weird path with China and also promoting cryptocurrency, so I don't know, it's a little bit in between. Maybe I don't feel as bad anymore. But regardless, there is no denying that this man left his mark on YouTube. And if we ever look back around this specific era of YouTube, there is no denying people will be thinking about this man. For better or for worse, but mostly for the worst.
Yikes. We really this one up, didn't we?
Now, confession, I did make this video solely because I wanted to talk about this era of YouTube and I wanted to talk about the channels that I grew up with around this era. And so I figured it feels fitting that I talk about one more channel that was the sole reason I wanted to make this video in the first place. And wouldn't you know it, they're actually still making parodies to this day, and it centers around famous movies, TV shows, and yeah, it's the Hillywood Show. The reason I made this video is so I can talk about the Hillywood Show. I want to talk about the Hillywood Show.
There's only one thing worse than the Academy being destroyed. Boom.
The moon!
No.
The Hillywood Show was created by sisters Hannah and Hilly Hindi. They make parodies centered around popular TV shows and movies, and I love them so much. You can literally just name any show or movie that was big, specifically around the Tumblr era of the 2010s, and they have done a parody centered around that. From Stranger Things, Doctor Who, Supernatural, Twilight, The Hunger Games, they even did one on Warm Bodies. Does anyone anywhere still remember Warm Bodies? I still do because of this parody. They've been making videos since 2006 and have been making parodies since 2009, and they still do it to this day. The thing that I love and admire about the Hillywood Show when it comes to these types of parodies is that you can tell these girls are actually fans of the franchises that they are parodying. And they make these as a bit of a fan letter to other fans of these franchises. Their Doctor Who one will forever be a favorite for me. One, because their song choice was Time Warp from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is immediately the most perfect song choice you can make for a Doctor Who parody. The time and effort it takes to recreate the outfits of the villains, the companions, the Daleks is fucking impressive, and I cannot stress this enough. I am going to mention this a couple of times, but I am definitely among the many believers that Hilly is just a shapeshifter. There is no way that this woman manages to transform into so many of the actors that she is portraying. I love how she even manages to capture the mannerisms of David Tennant's Doctor, which, speaking of David Tennant, apparently he actually watched the parody and he liked it a lot. And it's just so nice to see that the girls are being so happy and cheerful about it. They just deserve so much praise that they get. I'm also not ashamed to admit this, but their parodies were my first exposure to the Twilight franchise. And I love that my first ever exposure to the franchise is just a parody of Gangnam Style, where they have really good lookalike actors to play the characters dancing to Gangnam Style, and that will forever be engraved in my head.
Oppa Twilight Style.
My favorite in all the Twilight parodies, though, has gotta be the Breaking Dawn one. I just love that it's a medley from like Lady Gaga to Pitbull to a cover of 1,000 Years. But I also love, and my favorite part of all of this is just Jacob popping in singing Pitbull's part in the song. I love Hillywood Show parody Jacob. Hillywood Show parody Jacob is my spirit animal. Actually, wait, I just remembered. I forgot what Jacob does do to the baby in the movie, and so he's serenading the baby at the end of the Breaking Dawn parody. Yeah, I take back what I said. Never mind. Their Suicide Squad parody is their most viewed parody on the channel, and I could mention how this was one of my favorite things to watch as a kid, even though I had never seen Suicide Squad. And also, I did love this parody cover of Judas by Lady Gaga, but I can't help but think that they unintentionally predicted the fact that Lady Gaga was gonna play Harley Quinn in Joker Folie à Deux, which, funny enough, this parody was probably way better than anything that happened in that movie. One of the most memorable parodies, which also became fan favorites, were their Supernatural parodies. Their first one was a parody of Taylor Swift's Shake It Off, which actually managed to have a dancing cameo from the cast. And their second one, which is a supernatural version of Ghostbusters, which also has cameos from some of the cast members, but specifically they have Jared and Jensen appear at the end and team up with fake Jared and Jensen. I've been rewatching Supernatural for the first time in a very long time, and it just amazes me to this day when I rewatch these parodies just how well they've perfectly captured the show. You can tell that these girls put so much love and care with all of these parodies. You just know that they are genuine fans and not people who are doing this solely because they feel like they have to. Oftentimes when YouTubers make videos, specifically like parody videos like Bart Baker and The Key of Awesome, they are funded by companies like Maker Studios. The Hillywood Show does not do that, however. They are funded solely by their fans. And I mean everything. Their costumes, their sets, their locations, everything you see in those parodies, all funded by fans through their Patreon, and that is fucking incredible. And they are still making parodies to this day. That's right, people. The Hillywood Show outlived Bart Baker. As I am recording this, they just came out with a Star Wars parody set to Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, and it is phenomenal. First off, they clarified that they are not using AI at all, as if you couldn't love them more. Also, I love that Hillywood has to be Luke Skywalker because that woman is a shapeshifter. I'm not over-exaggerating. It is actually insane just how much she tends to look like the characters and actors that she is portraying. I mean, look at her as Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga herself acknowledged that she happens to look like her. And look at her as Jack Sparrow. This woman isn't human! Now, technically, I've kind of gone back and forth about whether or not I come to the conclusion that parody is dead or parody isn't dead, but YouTube just hates it, even though there's still parodies on YouTube. It's just kind of impossible to just make money off of those. But there is no denying, regardless of whether or not parody does come back to YouTube or not, I don't think nothing could ever top the 2010s era of YouTube music parodies. And it does suck that record companies ended up ruining all the fun and ended up forcing YouTube to just be very strict within their copyright. And even though some of these channels are still making parodies to this day, it is still fascinating looking back at these parodies and just seeing what a time this was. I grew up with these videos, and this type of humor is what helped shape me into the person I've become today, and you decide whether or not that is for better or for worse. I did not expect myself to really remember a lot of these YouTubers. Originally, I just wanted to talk about the Hillywood Show, Bart Baker, The Key of Awesome, and PopToons. But then I was reawoken to so many other YouTubers that I remembered watching their parody videos, and it just turned into me rambling for God knows how long this video is going to be. And so I thank you to my fellow viewers and subscribers for listening to me ramble on for God knows how long. I'm aware that this video is probably not even going to do that well, since a lot of these non-Just Dance or Tomodachi Life videos are always my worst performing videos. So, I don't know. If this video magically somehow hits like 10k views, I'll rank every single one of Bart Baker's parodies.
Oh my god, see it's really too bad.
He's climbing in your windows, chopping your people up, chopping. So you better hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husbands, cause he's slicing everybody out there.